So we've all seen the shit about the Signal app, right? Like, oh my God, the war plans that were put out there are putting our country at national security risk, and it's the worst thing ever. And how did Jeffrey Goldberg get on the damn thing in the first place? Is it conspiracy? Is it sabotage? And within the White House, what's going on? We're going to get into that, Rude. Don't you think that'd be a good thing to kind of throw our 2 cents in on today?
Who knows? We might have a different opinion.
What? Oh, little intrigue for everyone out there. So, welcome to the Root Barn Podcast. Let's get into this shit.
Let's do it.
Welcome to the Root Barn Podcast, everyone. I am the Barn. Right here next to me is my buddy,
The Rude. What's up, gang? What's up, Barn?
Man, it's been 3 weeks since we've done one of these, even though I've trickled out a couple that we've done before. But, I went through my surgery, a little hernia, a little alien creature trying to work its way out of my belly.
Dude, and the good thing for us is the news hasn't stopped. It's
because we haven't.
Going and going and going, and there's so much gold that we get to dig through, and I am excited.
Me too. We're going to crank through a couple of these real quick because we want to make it short and sweet. Everybody and their mother has done a podcast on the Signal app and on a couple other things we're going to talk about, but we thought we'd throw our 2 cents in there, see if we can kind of come up with something a little more of a twist that maybe you haven't seen, or just reiterate something from different perspective you might have seen that we may or may not agree with you or have told you about or anything like that. So
I've got a surprise for you. I'm going to blow your mind with the Signal app stuff, dude.
I hope so. I hope so. My mind needs to be blown.
Yeah, it's definitely a different way of thinking.
There's another joke there that I am not going to go down that path with. But anyway, let's start talking about it. Okay, so first of all, let me just kind of lay this out there. Okay, we all know about the Signal app, and it was about the dropping of the bombs on the Houthis, who have been disrupting the shipping lanes in the Middle East, which is kind of important so you can get your Amazon deliveries and whatnot. And so something had to be done.
Yeah.
So you have people going back and forth. Oh, it's the fault of the Signal app. It's not secure, and this, that. Well, maybe it's not the most secure thing out there, but from everything I have heard from people who are in the know, it's pretty damn secure. Secure.
It's pretty damn secure. It's one of the most secure.
Right.
Maybe not government official, like DOD level.
Maybe not for this particular type of conversation.
Yeah, maybe not for this kind of conversation, but it's pretty damn secure.
Yeah, it encrypts both ways. Coming into you, then decrypts there, and then it goes out and then encrypts it, and then they get decrypted on the other side to read your.
Well, and you know how I know.
To that effect.
I mean how I know and kind of feel, and I've used the app. I use it
all the time,
yeah. And it's funny because the people that are freaked out about the government tracking them, and this includes hardcore conspiracy theorists and veterans, because whether you folks out there want to admit it or not, veterans don't, the mass majority don't trust the government anymore, and they don't want them watching them. They have had the government
buy iPhone and Android then.
Right. The government had their thumb on them for however many years they were in, 4, 8, 16, whatever.
We own you. Yep.
Exactly. And they don't want to be owned, and they don't want a thumb on them. They don't want Big Brother watching them anymore. So literally 80% of the veterans that I talk to, and I talk to a fucking lot, they use Signal. They don't. They refuse to use Telegram or WhatsApp or the Facebook chat.
WhatsApp is the worst.
Or anything like that. They're like, fuck this shit, and they've dug into it enough to know that Signal is the app for them. because,
Right.
like you said, it's two-way encrypted.
Yep.
So that just kind of shows you how, secure Signal is, but I don't know, maybe not for this conversation.
Well, it like anything else, it's only as secure as the people in the group
Agreed.
want to keep it. So if you're inviting people, you better damn well know who the hell you're inviting into your group chat.
Well, the thing is, too, is in some of those group chats, dude, you have to do I had to do for one of the chats that I got into, well, that I was invited into, I had to do a three-way
questionnaire type of thing.
No, well, kind of. I mean, I felt like I was interviewing for a government job. Like I had to do a three-way authentication.
Three-way. Well,
I had to do phone, 2 emails. Like 2 different emails. I had to put in 2 different emails.
Can't be like 2 Gmail accounts. It had to be like,
yeah, they had to verify that they were me on both of those, and they had to verify my phone. And it took 24 hours.
Yeah.
I was pretty fucking secure. Like I was like, what the fuck am I getting into here?
Well, and that's the thing. It's like with this whole thing, everybody's like, oh, that's Signal. They shouldn't be using Signal. Okay. Well, maybe. Okay. But the fact that Jeffrey Goldberg was put on inadvertently, purposely, or whatever, I don't know. We haven't figured that out yet. Now, Walls is he's not CIA. That's Ratcliffe. Who's Mike Walls again?
He's
what's his title? I'm trying to remember.
Some director. Yeah, let me look.
So as you're looking that up, he is the one that was ultimately responsible.
A national security advisor.
National security. Thank you. Not Cash. Not Hegseth. It was Mike Walls who put this together. He's national security. Okay, perfect. So basically, they're you've got a group of people, and they're doing this on the chat on Signal, as opposed to like in the big war room when Obama and Hillary were there, and they're going after Bin Laden, and they're watching they're just doing it remotely.
They weren't in a skiff, you know what I mean? They weren't in a skiff. They weren't in the same state even. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
They need to talk about this stuff. But what are you gonna do? I mean, that's kind of the thing. What is the? I don't know this, and please let us know in the chat. But what is the? We're not in the same state. Skiff. What do you do? Where do you go? Do you go to the bunker? Do you use? What do you use? You know what I mean? I don't know.
All right. Yeah, and it's like, okay, well, I'm just certainly not going to do it on a phone call. The thing that's interesting though is how this Signal app was pre-downloaded on many of these guys' phones,
and these
from
are
the
phones
previous
that
administration.
And they're given. Yes,
Isn't that
they
a
need
little suspect?
Yeah, but I mean, they say that they're wiped and they're, you know what I mean? They're clean. They're, but who knows if they're all the way clean? But these are government issued phones, and they are required to have them on their person 24/7. Right. And these are, like you said, these are pre-downloaded apps that they use to communicate.
That was approved by the Biden administration, that Signal was authorized for use for government communications in certain situations or whatever it is. It was approved by them also. Okay. So this is not all on Trump. Let's be fair. Okay. Now, when Jeffrey Goldberg was on there, he's not a fan of Trump. He's with the Atlantic, and he's putting on there that, I don't know how I was invited onto the group chat, but I was in there and I was looking at war plans that were made and being discussed in live, real time, blah, 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 blah. Now, I didn't want to release that because I felt it was a national security issue and that we could really... And then, like a day later, he releases the whole damn thing. Really, you thought it was so vital for national security reasons that you didn't want to release it, and then you release it the next day?
Right.
Why did you do that?
With screenshots?
Right. So let's take a look at these screenshots and check out this vital national security. I mean, it's out there. It's not. We're not giving any new information, so we're not giving any war plans out and details on who we're going to hit, when we're going to hit, where they're going to be, on all that, because I wouldn't want to do that. I'm just releasing stuff that's out there that's already out there.
Well, we do this for our entertainment and our listeners' entertainment purposes only, right? That's what.
Or porpoises, just depending on if you live by the ocean.
Porpoises.
Or something. So anyway, let's check out
these fucking screenshots.
Let's check out the screenshots. So this is a guy, I don't know who this guy is. It's just, we found some screenshots, and these are screenshots because I've seen them in other places as well, because you can't just share and copy and paste things at all on the internet.
Yeah, no.
This is a full Signal text chain that has been released. There's nothing in it but pros and cons of striking now versus waiting a month. It's not war plans. Agreed, it is not. And it's not classified info.
But look at the title of this group.
Yeah.
Houthi PC small group.
Small group.
There's 19 members.
Michael Walls added you to the group. I don't know who Mar is. Mar is adding Mar. I don't know how you add yourself if you're already in there or not. I mean, how do you add yourself unless you're already in there?
And these messages are due to self-destruct in 1 week.
Right. If you choose to accept it. So I don't know if you can see this, and I can't really make it much bigger without scrolling things over. So he goes, team establishing principles for group of the coordination with the Houthis, particularly over the next 72 hours. My deputy Alex Wong is pulling together a tiger team. A tiger team. Man, that must be serious. At deputies agency's chief of staff level, following up from the meeting in the situation room this morning for action, blah, blah, blah. All right, so it goes on. Everybody's like, blah, 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 there. Okay, great. Then it goes into team, you should have a statement. Okay, here it is. Team, I am out for the day, but doing an economic event in Michigan, but I think 3% of the U.S. runs through Suez, 40%, okay? 3% of U.S. trade runs through the Suez Canal. 40% of European trade does. Okay, so there's a lot of economic consequences if the Houthis keep bombing the shit out of these fucking tankers as well. But you have your cargo ships and your tanker ships bringing fuel and oil and everything like that. So
they're doing
we
that.
Can't let this continue.
Yeah, we can't let this continue. Sure.
There's economic incentives here. He says it's the strongest reason to do this. Is as Potus said, to send a message, but I'm not sure the president is aware how inconsistent this is with his message on Europe right now, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, they go back and forth. None of that shit really matters because there's not any information in there of, national security interest. None of this is really,
well, none of that. If you're in the know, none of that is anything that anybody doesn't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah, this is all just kind of common knowledge information, or even if it isn't, it's not that, there's nothing in here incriminating, putting us or our service members in any harm's way, which is the biggest thing that, Jeffrey Goldberg was, All right, so here it is. This is the big classified sensitive information that Jeffrey Goldberg thought that, oh my God, I better not send this out. You did the next day.
Gonna send it out.
Yeah. Weather is favorable. Just confirmed CENTCOM that we are a go for mission launch. F-18 launch first strike package. Trigger-based F-18 first strike. Window starts. Now, does it say where? Where is it? Target. Terrorist target is at a known location and should be on time. So I have no idea where that location is or the time that they're talking about. Do you?
Nope, I don't.
I can't figure that out. Anyway, and then at 2:10 p.m., if you read military time, more F-18s launch, second strike package. And 5 minutes later, strike drones on target. This is when the first bombs will definitely drop, pending earlier trigger-based targets. And then about an hour and 15 minutes after that, at 3:36, second strikes from the F-18s, also blah, 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 blah. I don't know where are they striking again? I can't Did I miss something in here?
There's no coordinates. We don't know where it's going.
It doesn't say how many troops are going to be there.
This is kind of a funny thing that they were mentioning is the emojis.
Oh yeah. Oh, the emojis. Oh yeah. Strong America en fuego.
We're on fire.
We're in fuego. We're on fire.
I do that shit all the time.
Oh yeah, I do. Yes, we just did one. I think I sent you a shit emoji this morning because you were taking care of business.
You sent me a fire shit and a flag. Yeah,
Right.
do this one for America, bro.
Yeah. So there's all that. So there's really there. I don't know where the sensitive information is. Here he is. Signal was greenlit by the government to use in the Biden administration. Yep. This is grumpy old Al or AI. Al? Probably Al. Sure looks like war plans to me.
Come on.
We just said this. No, he's joking, really? Of course.
Oh,
yeah.
right. Okay.
Yeah. He's being sarcastic. He's like, yep. Well, maybe he's not. Maybe grumpy old Al is. No, he's conservative, so I think he gets it.
Yeah.
So, not that all of you who aren't conservative don't get it, but there's a hell of a lot of you that don't because you just hate Trump so badly. You want this to be the biggest fuck up he's ever done. It's just amazing.
I mean, they're looking for anything, you know what I mean? Any kindling to start some sort of fire, they are digging and digging and digging.
And then here's this dude, Judge Boasberg, was just assigned to the lawsuit involving the signal chat involving Pete Hegseth, Mike Waltz, and other. Okay, so I don't know what's going on with that. I didn't dig into that. We're not going to get into that right now because we just don't want to get too far. Let's just keep this short and sweet, pretty much. Now, should heads roll on this? Probably somebody should be held accountable. Mike Walls. I mean, I meant to say, not just whispering that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he should. You know, I've got other things. These guys are saying, more nothing burgers.
And this is one of the things that that I agree with, that some of my conservative friends are disagree with, is fucking Schumer. You know what I mean? He comes out and he's trying to be the first one in a press conference about we need to do an investigation and heads need to roll and da 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 da. Now, do I think that they need to make a big deal out of it? No. Do I think that people need to be held accountable and not just slapped on the hand? Which I think, that's kind of what Trump is doing.
Which is not a good look in this case because
it isn't. It really
you want to throw stones at the other guys, but you don't want the arrows, slings and arrows coming back at you.
Exactly. That's the thing. He's coming down and being a hard ass on so many things. You can't not come down and be a hard ass on your own kids. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like you can't be a cop in the streets and not be a cop at home. Right. Like and that's the big thing with me. I'm like, if you're gonna fucking police everybody and you're gonna hold everybody accountable, you have to do that in your own administration. Yep. Or you're gonna look like a flip-flopper and you're full of fucking shit. And that's what bothers me about this whole thing. Like, he's like, well, I think he's doing a good job. Really? No, he fucked up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And he should
either fire him or do something.
Or censure him or suspend him or without pay. Something to say.
Put him on fucking extended leave.
Yeah, this is not a fireable offense, a termination offense. Okay?
I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think they have to go there.
No.
But at the same time.
It's just like, hey, don't F up again on this whole thing, because if you do, then I will have to fire you, but I need to punish you in some sort of, you still get the speeding ticket, but that doesn't mean you still can't drive your car. Okay.
Right. We're not taking your license.
Right. We're not taking your license away. We're just giving you the speeding. He needs the speeding ticket.
Well, here was the thing. Here was one of the things that I really liked about Trump. And this was before he even, started running for office. He had his show. You're fired. You're fired.
You're fired. Right. I would love to actually see that happen now.
Had a good time with that, right? And when he started running, I was like, oh my God, no way. This could be really, really good or really, really bad. Turned out it was mediocre for 45. 47, he's coming in like a fucking wrecking ball. You're fired. You're fired. He loves the best.
I don't like what you've done. You're fired.
Yeah, right. We're going to the big leagues. And so, but you gotta hold that. Yeah, you gotta hold that same muscle and fire across the whole board.
Let me tell you,
if you're not doing that, then you kind of look like a fucking clown.
Yeah. Let me tell you, and it's been mentioned before in other shows, and I fully agree with, and we can bring up many more examples than this. But nothing happened to Hillary with Benghazi or Obama. Nothing happened to Biden or anybody in that administration, Secretary of State or anybody like that, when it came to those 13 service members who were killed in the horrific abomination of an Afghanistan withdrawal. Mm-hmm. Nothing happened there. Mayorkas never got fired for his lack of competency at the border and for lying. The border is secure.
Yeah, you full of shit.
I'm busy on Monday. My calendar's full on Tuesday, Thursday.
Let me see that fucker's Signal chat thread.
Yeah. So nothing happened to these pukes there, which is why Trump needs to do some sort of punishment to Mike Walls. Now, I don't think Pete Hegseth has anything to do with this, so he should not even be in the conversation,
right?
Of this. Signal, like this douche puts up here, Signal vulnerability, blah, 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 blah. Okay, well, we have already talked about that, but that's up there on the screen just to show you. You know, their Signal is only, and really you can have the best. God damn it! Listen to what the fuck I'm saying. You can have the best goddamn security in the world at a school, at an airport, at a church, at whatever. But if nobody's manning the X-ray machine, no one's manning the metal detectors, no one's, you're walking through with whatever, and it does. All the security, no, it's not it's not the metal detector or the X-ray's fault. It's the people running it. It's the people who put this douchebag in the chat.
Well, that's the thing though too. Like there are some 23-year-old pimple-faced kid in his mom's basement just hacking. There's hackers. They hack. Some of them are hired to hack just to see if it's secure enough, right? Okay, so we have hired hackers. So whoever's running shit goes on break to drop a deuce.
Yeah.
Guess what? That hacker's in. All he needs is a split second. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And same thing here. I think that the conversation though, I like where our conversation was going because we agree on this, and this is something that conservatives aren't saying, and they're not really wanting to take full responsibility for this, and full responsibility means more than a slap on the hand. And if we're not doing that, well, if we're not
the other guys,
yeah, exactly. If we're not doing that, then how much better are we than the people who didn't fucking fire Hillary? You know what I mean?
And why are we giving them? Why are they giving the Dems more fodder to work with? I mean, they have enough shit they make up as it is that we don't need to give them any more fuel to add to the fire.
Because, dude, if he would have came out the next day and said, well, it's fucked up. We're going to go ahead and put him on paid administrative leave and figure this whole thing out.
Yeah.
Then it wouldn't even be a fucking story.
No, it would drop off the face of the earth. Exactly.
Right. It wouldn't have got a nickname. Fucking SignalGate. This is so fucking stupid.
It is fucking stupid. And here's the other thing, too, is the Republicans are pretty freaking stupid. I didn't want to say fucking stupid because there was too many fucks in the conversation, but Republicans are fucking stupid as well. Sometimes. A lot of times. And just like the Democrats are. They're both idiot. But it's like the excuse and the cover-up is becoming worse than the Signal debacle of accidentally or on purpose adding somebody's name to the chat. And that's what they need to get down to, is like, you know what, this is Mike Wallace is one of ultimately responsible. We're going to get to the end of it. We're going to put him on administrative leave until, for a certain period of time. But we're going to get down to, how did Jeffrey Goldberg get on the chat? Who was responsible for that? We may have a mole in our group, in our administration. We need to root him out. Something. But they gave excuse after excuse and almost made it worse than just saying, yeah, you know what, we screwed up.
I agree.
Just say, you screwed up. We're going to try to rectify it, not let that happen again. Thank God there really wasn't any pertinent national security information that was put out on there. Thank goodness. And we're going to tighten this up for next time. Done. It would have been over. It would have been over. But no, you give the fodder to the freaking Democrats and that war machine.
And they just keep giving them, they just keep giving them more fat to chew. And it's like, guys, just, I mean, we can really put an end to this really quick.
Yeah.
I mean, even if you're not going to actually, spank him on the ass.
Right.
Fucking say it.
You are.
Yeah. Say it in the press and be done with it. You know what I mean?
And Caroline Leavitt, who's awesome. She is like probably one of the best press secretaries next to, what's her name? Who's on Fox now? I got blank. Can't remember. Kayleigh McEnany.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I think she does a great job. And for only being 27 years old, you got to give this girl credit for kind of standing up for things. She also gave some excuses, which I think were just not a good look for the administration. But overall, I think 98% of the time, she's freaking spot on and keeps this shit going. Here is an exchange that she has with Kaitlin Collins from CNN, who just loathes Trump and Republicans and conservatives and everything, and she's just a freaking zit on their ass of life, and just gets in there and tries to really stir the pot all the time. So let's listen to a little of this. She gets put in. We'll end with this one thing when Doug Collins is also interviewed with her on CNN, and kind of wraps up this whole thing with SignalGate with a pretty bow.
Yeah.
And it makes it really nice. So let's check this little back and forth.
I have two questions. One on a follow-up on something you just said, but since we have these messages released and you said that the president has now personally reviewed them, at the chat, at one point, Pete Hegseth wrote 1415 strike drones on target, and in all caps,
there's no information there, lady.
First bombs will definitely drop.
It's vague.
Does the president feel that he was misled by his national security advisors, whoever it was that told him there was no classified information in there, now that he's seen these messages?
I've now been asked and answered this question 3 times by the both of you, and I've given you my answer. The president feels the same today as he did yesterday.
Okay,
Philip.
and on my follow-up on what you had just said.
Go ahead, Philip. Caitlin, I'm not taking your follow-up.
I have a follow-up on something you just said, though, Caroline. That's
Caitlin, I'm not taking your follow-up. Philip, go ahead. I've called
Thank you. The vice president seemed.
And look at her face.
I love it.
I love it.
That's the thing. I mean, she's trying to stir the pot. Yeah. She's trying to frustrate her.
Answered
3 times.
3 times. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, stop stirring the pot. Stop being a see you next Tuesday. Yeah, exactly.
Right. Or Tuesday.
Right.
Both work great. Okay, so this I'm going to play like 3 minutes. We'll jump in there and just say stuff in between every once in a while, but it is 3 minutes of beautiful banter back and forth. I haven't seen it. You said this is comedy gold.
It's pure gold. And this is what I like, because this is what I think needs to set this up. This is what needs to happen more often. Because they bait and they bait and they bait and they bait. And unfortunately, a lot of times people take the bait. Doug wasn't taking the fucking bait.
Most of the Republicans take the bait like the morons they are.
Well, and the problem is too, is Doug, he knows that his department is not the best. He knows that it needs major reform. He knows his job is on the chopping block, but he's standing in there and he's doing what's right. And this is, he's not taking the bait. Yes, and that's the thing. You got to commend him for it.
Yeah. let's listen to this 3 minutes of pure magic, and then we'll wrap this up so we don't have to beat a dead horse with this whole thing. But I think for the most part, we realize somebody needs to be held accountable for the screw up of having Goldberg on there, but there was really a nothing burger. So it's just like, it's like, just get your speeding ticket to him and then let's move on. Okay.
Right.
Yeah, this is enough of this bullshit. Here we go.
Mr. Secretary, thank you so much for being here. You served in the Navy and the Air Force. How would you have felt if information like this was talked about in an unclassified group chat, if a Navy fighter pilot, is in the air?
Well, I think the one thing, Kaitlin, it's good to be with you tonight. I think the president and those involved in the chat, which I was not involved in the chat, have explained that. I trust the president's opinion on this. I trust what's been going on. Everyone's entitled to their own opinion. My opinion is that my job is to take care of veterans in this country as they come out of service, and that's what I'm going to continue to do.
We heard from some of your former colleagues up on the Hill today, some Republicans. They don't like how the administration is handling this, that they're kind of tying themselves in knots by saying it wasn't classified information.
Which it wasn't.
It wasn't. No.
If you look at that chat and you didn't put it in the context of the Houthis, that could be anywhere in the world.
Anywhere. Yeah.
Any day of the week.
They could have been talking about a fucking video game. You put that in any context, and it's so vague that nobody knows anything. You know what I mean? Yeah. It wasn't war plans. There were no specifics or no Pacifics in it. And it is a nothing burger. You didn't want that information out in regards to the fact that the PC group was the Houthis, but other than that, you've narrowed it down to that part of the world, and you still are 80,000 feet up in the earth, up in the sky, flying over. So you don't know exactly where that. Anyway. Yeah, I mean, there's plenty.
Do you believe that a
Oh yeah, exactly.
Mistake was made here, though, to have this conversation, to add a reporter, and to have it on an unsupported, classified group setting?
Kaitlin, as I've just told you, I've just answered the question. I wasn't part of it, and I'm not going to.
She seems to have a pattern.
Oh yeah,
of asking the same question in a slightly different way over and over and over again, trying to get the answer.
It's the baiting. It's the baiting, dude. It's the baiting. Like I said, this is strike two. Watch. Yeah.
Speculate more than what the president's already talked about, and those who've been involved have talked about. But we'd love to talk about the veterans.
Yeah, and I do have questions about the veterans, but given what we saw with the group chat and how this was used, you are a member of the cabinet. You obviously know these other members, several of them who were in there. Is this typical for the cabinet to have conversations?
By the way, I just want to make another quick point, that if this were a Democrat and he didn't answer the question that they asked, you would have been on to topic number 7 by now.
Move on. Yeah.
But no, we're trying to hound it out of the same,
Over Signal, Is this something that you use?
Well, Kaitlin, since you undoubtedly do not want to talk about the VA, I have a question as VA Secretary. This cabinet, I want to ask you, because I've been curious about this, because my job is to take care of veterans, and I would like to know why CNN is hostile to veterans, especially one in Florida, where you just had a $5 million defamation suit taking offense at a veteran who was trying to help people. In fact, one of your employees actually said, we're going to nail him. I have a question for you, Kaitlin. Is that employee still employed? Are you really concerned about veterans? So if we don't want to talk about veterans now, you want to talk about everything else, I'd like to hear from CNN as the veteran cabinet secretary, why CNN seems to have a problem with veterans.
Well, Mr. Secretary, respectfully, my question was about whether or not you were a member of the cabinet use this. And respectfully, I'm conducting the investigation. And I do have a lot of questions for you on Veterans Affairs. But I don't think that it would be
what you want to do is you want to talk about a subject. What you want to do is talk about.
What was that?
She said that she's conducting the investigation. Are you, Kaitlin? Did they put you in charge of conducting the investigation? Fuck off.
Because you've been so credible with everything you've done lately.
Right.
That you're a laughing stock in the freaking journalistic world. And it's not it's opinion. It's opinion pieces. It's not journalism.
It is. She's not writing good pieces. She's not putting out good media. She's not doing investigative reporting. Are you say you're conducting the investigation? Is this what you call conducting an investigation.
This is her hard-hitting investigating. Right.
Yeah.
The answer. And if you want to continue this like this, that's fine. But there are VA employees who are working very hard. There are veterans who get their care from the VA and they get their benefits from the VA. And it does me no good to speculate on something that I've already asked and answered. So I've asked and answered your question. Why don't you answer mine?
Love it. We'll end it right there because I don't think we need to go any further. She has a pattern of this bullshit.
Right. And see, and that's what I love about Doug here, because he doesn't take the bait. And it's like, don't bring me on false pretenses.
Yeah. Bait and switch me.
Yeah. Just to try to, I guess, smear me because, to give my opinion on something that he's already answered the question. I mean, and he did it so perfectly. Yeah. You know what I mean? And that's all the answer she needed. After that, she just should have been like, okay, well, this is gonna be a brick wall, and this is gonna make me look like a real shitbag if I keep asking these questions. Let's move on to the VA. Why I even invited you to this show.
But that's if you had integrity.
Come on, man.
That's if you had integrity, you would do that. She has no integrity.
Exactly.
Well, and this is the thing, and then we're going to wrap this up, but this is the thing that these people do, is they don't get the answer they want. And they've been told by their producers or by their heads, their bosses above them, that, okay, you got to get it out of them. All we want is trip them up with just that one thing, and then we can use that soundbite to put it to them. And you keep asking until you get the answer that you want. And they never get, well, luckily they don't usually get it lately, which is good. But that's what they do. And they'll keep pushing it. But man, I'm telling you, if it were a Democrat, if it was somebody on their side of the aisle, this would be breezed over and there'd be no follow-up, there'd be no backlash, there'd be no anything to say, well, wait a minute, you didn't answer my question. And they can answer a completely different question to the question that they asked, and then they're fine with that. Let's move on to the next question that I know you're going to not answer with another question because it's an awkward question.
Right. And I think that this just goes to show, like you said, the integrity or lack thereof. Yeah. And lack thereof. Because it's it's that whole, if we do it, we can get away with it and we don't have to take responsibility for it. But if you do it, we're going to try to nail you to the wall. And it's just kind of another example of how I guess in how afraid they are and how they're scrambling for anything to, you know what I mean, to try to throw at this administration's face, because this administration is really going in and cleaning house and doing what he said he was going to do. You know what I mean? Yeah. And they were afraid of that in the beginning, and now it's happening, and they're scrambling for something to grab onto that they can try to deface this administration with. I mean, it's watch.
When you're getting when you're getting exposed, dude, that's what you do. You turn it around. It's like they always do. You turn it around on them. And so instead of answering the question, well, how come you stole that thing? Well, you stole something else too, or whatever. I mean, that's how they come about.
It's classic gaslighting, and it's just making them look like, the
buffoons they are.
Like in that tired bully on the playground who nobody cares about anymore. You know what I mean? It's like, dude, your time's over. Just move on.
Yeah, just go take your ball and go home.
Yeah, exactly. Nobody's afraid of you anymore. Yeah. This is, you're stupid.
So this has been just a whole big nothing burger as far as I'm concerned. Now that we've read the text message and we see that it's very vague, and if it didn't say Houthi in the group thing there, that it really would have been anywhere in the world, and there's no specifics, there's no real locations, there's no troop movement, there's no anything that would give anybody any idea of counter striking and putting our service people at risk in harm's way or anything. So it's a nothing burger. So all right, well, that's probably about it for the SignalGate issue. We just want to touch on and put our 2 cents in there, and thought we'd say, there's really Democrats, please let it go. Be done with it. There's nothing. Stop dying on this hill as well. It's amazing the amount of hills that you will die on for no apparent reason whatsoever. Let it go. This is nothing.
Just to try
Should Mike Walls be fired? No. Should he be disciplined? Absolutely. Don't screw up and don't do this shit again. And let's find out who put this person, this Jeffrey Goldberg, into the group chat on purpose, because I guarantee you this was done on purpose for the right reason right here, to make him look bad. So give us your thoughts below. Let us know what you think about this whole thing. You could disagree with us or agree with us, but subscribe, please, to the channel. It helps us grow. We'd love to give you more content. And let us know what's on your mind about this whole thing and what you think about Signal Chat, the app itself, or this whole situation, and all of that. We'd love to hear from you. So I think that should be it. And check out the rudebarn.etsy.com. We've got some merchandise on there. We don't make a whole lot on it, but it does help, provide some resources for the show so we can continue bringing this. We do this for free. We do this because we love it and have a great time doing it. So we just help us out. We appreciate it. The biggest thing, please share it and subscribe.
Yeah. We have a lot of fun with it, and if we can, get our opinions out, via, everybody sharing and liking and commenting and having a conversation, then that's all we're looking for. So
exactly. Perfect. Yeah. Thanks, gang. Thanks for joining us on this one, and we'll look forward to seeing you in the next podcast.
Question everything.